Welcome everyone to this Privacy Rules, Privacy Espresso. My name is Alessandro Di Mattia, Legal and Executive Officer at Privacy Rules. And today I'm joined by Andreas von Grebmer from the company wizlynx Group based in Switzerland. Andreas is Information Security Advisor in the company and is going to discuss with us about why never separate data privacy from GRC, governance, risk and management and compliance. So this is a very interesting topic, Andreas, so the floor is to you.
Thank you, Alexandro, and thank you, everybody. Hello, everybody who's watching this session. So yeah, we gained some insights over the last 20 years from the topic governance, risk and compliance and what can go wrong and what not. And we want to share these insights. Just want to say that there is no silver bullet to fix these things, but we also want to give you some hints how to make things better and to improve things.
Perfect. So looking forward to those tips that you can give us.
Yeah, so let's have a look at today's environment where companies are acting in and how they're set up. So this is a typical setup of an organization. Still, even startups have this setup, and they work in an environment where they have a lot of requests coming to them. So from new laws, new regulations, then stakeholders, the number of stakeholders is increasing, new technologies like artificial intelligence, for example, or blockchain. So that's coming in, and that's already pretty complex, but the environment is even more complex because these organizations have units, especially if you talk a little bit about bigger global organizations. So they have an number of units, and they also work more and more with third party when they outsource. And to make it even more complex, they have functions like HR or IT that are in the organization. And through the digitalization, all of them, they need more and more information. So the topic here is the matrix organization. Then to work on governance, risk and compliance, where data privacy is one of them, they use tools. So and then we have data privacy, we have information security, health, safety, environment. So all of them have tools, and then on organizations. So they are working in silos, in organizational silos, in tool silos.
Perfect. And are there disadvantages in using those silos specifically?
Yeah. So the silos. This is just an example of the silos that exist. So they have some disadvantages. For example, the management of requirements. So often requirements are worked on in the silos. I'll give you an example. For example, privileged account management is something which is necessary for data privacy, but also for PCI credit card security. So the synergies which are in the organization are not used. The other thing is that the risk management is also done in the silos. So you have health, safety, environment, cybersecurity risk management, data privacy risk management. So you don't get the full picture of the risks at the end, because in cybersecurity, there are not only technical risks, there are also reputational risks, for example. Another thing is when we talk about information, that information can also be in different sources. For example, if you take HR data that divides into hiring, candidates data, and so on, that's also spread over different tools and databases. And it's not really, it's very scattered. There's not one place of truth for where the information is, how it's classified, how it's protected. And yeah, not last but not least, this is leading to a very fragmented landscape of tools, which is very costly for the organization. And you don't have one source of truth where you can say, okay, what really sensitive personal information do we have? How is it protected? What's the exposure? did we have incidents, and so on.
Perfect, Andrea. Thanks a lot. And in this regard, I see that in this approach there is quite a lot of fragmentation. So my next question would be, first of all, is it possible to avoid this fragmentation, and which are the benefits of a different approach?
So I have a slide about the benefits, and as I said in the beginning, there is no golden bullet. So there is nothing I can tell you do it like this and it's fine.
Of course.
If you do it different, then you will have higher profitability because the cost will go down. Because if you have tools, just take a data privacy tool is very costly, especially on a global scale. Also the risk tool. So if you can consolidate that, you can save costs. Then you will gain higher transparency because you have then one or a reduced number of databases where you can access and where you also basically get quicker information. Then because you get quicker information, you have this more centralized, you get more agile as an organization. And I think that's key to be successful as a business. The management and all the stakeholders like the data privacy officer and so on, they would get quicker oversight of what's going on in an area, for example, in a country of a big organization or in a unit. So what's the exposure, what's the risk there, and so on. And also, if you start digitalizing that, you have one benefit which we often see in organization is that individuals have the knowledge. So what's the landscape, where's the critical data, and so on. And if they leave the organization, then this data is not found anymore. If you have this in one place, then you build like a corporate brain where this information is available. And last but not least, you really foster the collaboration when you do that.
Perfect, and that's very useful, I think, to see that there are different approaches or what to focus on, to be aware of when doing these activities in particular. And in order to make further improvements in this sector, are there some key success factors that you would be able to indicate or underline to us?
Yeah. So since it's very individual by environment, by company, one key factor is always the leadership support. So you need, if you want to be successful, have a successful transformation, you need to find a sponsor in the leadership team that supports you in that transition. Otherwise, I have never seen that the bottom-up approach was working in such a transition. The second thing is that you need to start with a phased approach. So you should take one use case or two use cases like data privacy and information security and start to improve these use cases. Not if you want to change everything in one go, that will not work. So start with use cases, make a proof of concept. So these are basically the two only recommendations which have been proven that they work everywhere. And that was basically the topic. So I hope I was able to make people aware of what are the downsides of this fragmentation and how it could be a little bit improved. And we prepare also a next Privacy Espresso, which is scheduled for the 12th of May. Where we show the value-driven approach of GRC, including data privacy. So I hope I will see a lot of people there as well. And with that, I will hand over to you, Alessandro.
Thanks a lot, Andreas, and it was a great pleasure to listen to you and to learn and receive tips on this topic from an expert. And I would like to thank you very much for joining us and for this brief overview, because time was very short, but extremely dense. So thanks a lot. I would like also to thank our listeners for being with us today, and I would like to invite them to follow our next Privacy Espresso together, as you were rightly saying. All the materials can be asked also directly to Privacy Rules, contacting our email that is info@privacyrules.com, and we will be pleased, of course, to stay in touch with any of you. Andreas, thanks a lot for your time again.
Thank you, Alessandro. You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, and also to the wizlynx team. Bye, everyone.